Lights they flicker and the candles glitter like you're in a thriller. Heart goes pound, pound, pound. Ghostly figures, they can get so bitter. Show you want to until you can turn back to. You don't know where I've been. What's going on inside? Where the monsters like to come alive, come alive. Do you really wanna know me? I'm really not that cozy. It's up to you, so you decide, you decide. Would you love me up my words till the coffin's in the dirt? Try to break me like a curse, you know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd, I like dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion, but could you love a haunted?
Hello. I was about to sing my whole ass off. I always jam out to our intro and outro.
It's so
Hello?
good.
I know it is. It's a bop. Hello, everybody. We missed you.
Yes, we did.
I'm so excited about tonight because it's a special night for us, guys. Oh, sorry. I got distracted by your plushie.
Yes.
Anyway, we're just chilling today. We got some warm beverages. We
Yes.
have our comfy sweaters, comfy hair, just being a cozy day. What are you drinking today?
I have chicory coffee with sweet
Ooh,
cream. Yes. Really
I'm
good.
jealous. I have a turmeric honey chai with a little bit of milk and honey.
That sounds delicious.
Yes, it is perfectly temperatured. I am so excited about it. After this, I'm doing a face mask. I'm going to listen to an audiobook and I'm going to relax. But our topic today, we're keeping it chill because we missed you guys, but me and other Jas have been super busy, guys. Super busy. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Is that a thing for your phone? That's adorable.
I didn't know
my
I could do
gosh.
that.
I bet I tried to do it, doesn't happen. I was like, whatever. I'm on my computer. Anywho, with that being said, we're keeping it low key, we're keeping it chill. What we're going to do is talk about some books that we just keep coming back to. Especially like why we come back to them. I have some disclaimers about mine too. Please do not judge my books. Do not judge my books. My books, they're from a different time. These are the books I first read. My first ever books that I read that was romance, erotica, whatever you want to call it, back from the 90s. And I still read them to this day. And every time I read them, I still throw the books because I get so mad at their condescending male characters.
Oh.
Like we're going to go into it and I'm going to explain it in a minute, but it's really, this book, I have read it and I swear every time I'm stressed out in life, this book finds me. I remember going into an antique, or not antique bookstore, but it's like one of those local bookstores. You never find anything. You just go there to find something great. Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining us. And what happened? You keep doing that if it pops up. That's meant to be. But this book keeps finding me. And I remember going randomly and I was having a date and the date was not going good. And it wound up being this book literally fell in my lap at the bookstore. Hello, thank you. How are you? Girl, we're going to get into that in a minute. But how about you? Explain to how many books do you feel like you go or like your comfy books?
Well, let me start off and say that it took me a long time to actually become a reader again. Like in school, like grade school, I loved reading up until like high school. And I think because academically you just had so much to do, I just hated it. And the stuff that we were reading was so boring. But I started reading weird, like really old epic stories like Homer's The Iliad and Beowulf and stuff like that. And that got me back into reading. Especially like Beowulf, I started reading that like annually. And I listened to like the old English version too as I would read the translations.
I love that.
And so I was kind of really geeky about it. And then after that, I started reading more nonfiction. But I do
Mhm.
remember in high school sneaking and reading my grandma's like serials, her romance like
Mhm.
westerns, and and that I always would like feel some type of way like, oh, I should be reading this. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
because things would get a little spicy, and I'm
It
like, oh.
does. It really does get spicy, but you know what I loved about it? I would say is especially when I was younger, there was such a pressure to mm, be adult and grown, right?
Mm.
And those books actually helped me realize like I can wait for the love of my life. So I would definitely say
English teacher type
you're
of
talking about
time.
that.
Aw.
No, but those books really like mine was Shakespeare and the Odyssey
Mm.
originally. Shakespeare, like Give Me Some Romeo and Juliet, Midsummer Night's Dream. I remember having a book where it was the wishbone version. I had like different copies of everything. So it'd be like a wishbone version, the old English version, and then there was a copy that had both. It was like English and then like the translated version of it. And
Yeah.
I was being in class, like, you know, like in elementary school, just geeking out about this. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna kiss. Ah, like so cute, you know, true love. Even though I will say, out of all of Shakespeare's work, I do not like Romeo and Juliet. I do not like it. I think it's the dumbest shit ever. I used to get so pissed off, but I did like because it was very accessible. Because I think for some odd reason, like in school, at least where I was at, like that was such a thing to teach. Like it's the
Hmm.
greatest tragedy, the greatest love story tragedy. I'm like, they were both young and he was manipulative as fuck. I was like, he was older than her. We're not gonna talk about that,
Mm.
um, but like the adult novels, my mom used to get like from fucking Kmart back in the day. I remember like shopping with her and she would buy it and then she'll have like a stack. Cause my mom, one thing she really gave me was a love of reading and anything like, I'm probably saying it wrong, but like old timey stuff. Like I love Sense and Sensibility. I love Jane Eyre.
Mm.
I love all that
Jane
stuff.
Eyre.
Jane Eyre is so fucking good. And so when it came to a lot of these books, like I'm actually about to show one right now, hopefully. It came
Yes.
up. It's called The Lion's Belt. And it's pretty much, and this is the book I throw every fucking time. And this is the book that literally falls on my lap. And I said that because I was at the bookstore and I was fighting with a boyfriend I had at the time. And it literally, I forgot what happened. You know, like you're not thinking, you're just trying to get away from the situation. And I
Hmm.
wind up just pulling like the second book off of the thing. And I guess I got a paper cut or something and then like fell. And I was like, oh, I was like, holy shit, this book is here. And I bought it. I think it was like $2. I don't know. But let's see here.
Let me
The
see. I
classic
read a
literature.
lot of classic literature because they're in public domain and free. Then came the parody plays like the works of Aristophanes. Is that how you say
Mm-hmm.
it? And Rosencrantz and
Hard
Guildenstern
to,
are dead.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I have to update myself on that because I don't know anything about that.
I
I am an old soul when it comes to things. I'm set in my ways. I'm an old fogey, I think it's called. Like I just if it's not the original thing I grew up with, I don't want nothing to do with it. It takes me a long time. It's like anime. Don't
Mhm.
I'm like 8 years behind on every anime because I refuse to watch it because everybody else is watching it. Because they're like, you guys are lying to me. And it's not until somebody tricks me into watching it or enjoying something. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
this thing is dope as hell. They're like, yeah, bitch, that's the same thing we've been telling you to read. I'm like, oh,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Uh-huh.
cute. Look at
I'm like
me.
I'm like that with my to be read list as well. Like there's a
Mhm,
bunch that everybody's reading right now and I'm just
mhm.
like I just don't feel like it. Let me go
Yeah,
off the beaten path and find something that's really meant for me. And I think that's also
exactly.
something to be said like with
Hmm.
the social media and algorithms and things like that.
Hmm.
They're always going to push you towards what they feel is trending and what they feel is good and what garners a lot of hype. And not all the time that doesn't always suit your personal interests and
Exactly.
preferences. So I always take it with a grain of salt and I appreciate recommendations because, I get bored and want to explore too. But I kind of like just finding my own thing. So, and I think we do a lot of that here, which makes reading fun for
Exactly.
me. So it's
Oh,
cool.
definitely. I think that's one of the reasons why I was really excited, like when we started this podcast, was because we don't just go with the hype of things. We don't. And because again, sometimes, like you stated, like just because it's hype doesn't mean it's for us. And I don't like a lot of the things that are super popular now, like I'm not into. I'm just not into the situation. It could be like me just being a jerk too, to be like, I'm not gonna care about that. Because it's happened. Like I felt that way about Dark One and the Never King. I was like, but no, wait, that's a lie. Because I was like, I don't that's stupid. I'm not gonna watch it just by looking at it. I was like, that sounds stupid. And then my
Mm,
sister told me, she was like, it's about Peter Pan, like spicy Peter Pan. And I'm like, well, I do like Disney. Let's see what happens.
yeah.
So it comes to those things like sometimes you just need that guided hand with it.
Hmm.
So this book, I'm gonna talk about this one real quick if it loads. There we go. This is one
It
of the
did.
covers. It's not called the lion's belt. It's about a lion's belt is a big key part of the book. So this is the situation I hate about this fucking book, but I read it no matter what because it's kind of sweet. And I'll explain why. So this is The Black Lion by Jude Deveraux. Um, it's a medieval type of romance, and this baron comes out of nowhere or lord, I don't know, some bullshit. Some man with a title with a chip on his shoulder. He comes in, falls in love with the main character. Her name is Leona or something like that. And he loves her and he's like, oh my God, that's my baby boo. But he has trauma of past relations because he was married to before of somebody else who was similar to her title. And he was like, oh, I bet she just wants to use me for my money. And mind you, this girl just loved him. Just
Oh.
loved him. She just wanted to be, and she kept blaming herself, and she had to jump through all these fucking hoops and all this situation. And he fucking abused her. I don't care what anybody says. And I get so pissed off. There's this one scene where he's ignoring her. Like he pretty much forces himself on her on their wedding night. She thinks that's how it's supposed to be. Because mind you, back then they really didn't talk
Yeah.
to the women about those things. And it was just like a crazy reality because you see his like point of view and her point of view where he's like, yeah, this is all she wanted anyway. Fuck her. Da da da. And she's just like, I guess this is how love's supposed to be. And there's a part where I guess like they get intimate with each other, like
Hmm.
willingly. And he grabs her in a way where it triggers her. And she says, please, I'll stay still. Just don't hurt me like that again. And he was like, wait,
Oh.
what? And it triggered me so bad because I was like, you fucking scarred her for life and she just wants to love you.
Oh
And
wow.
like he not solves it because you can't just fix that in a second, but he tried to make it better and he even apologized. He's like, look, even if I don't care about you, literally, he says like pretty much like even if I don't fuck with you anymore because I know you're a witch and you possessed me or so whatever the fuck he said, but I'm gonna make sure like you enjoy being intimate because you should at least enjoy that, the woman's blessing, whatever the fuck he called it. But then like he'll do something sweet like that, like trying to, make her happy, and then he'll go to the next page where he's like, I'm going off to war. She's like, wait, can you explain to me what's going on? I don't know what anything you're talking about. You just kidnapped me from my house. I don't know anything that's going on. And
Hmm.
then she dresses like a serf to follow him to be with him at the war thing, the war camp. And then she does all these crazy things where she winds up dancing for him, seducing him in a sense. And then he pretty much calls her a whore. And I'm like, oh, look at you. I bet you fucking everybody in this thing. And she's like, motherfucker, everything I do is to please you and to be here with you. And you're being a piece of shit. It's not until she saves him from not a bullet, an arrow that was trying to kill him that he finally convinces himself that he loves her.
Mm.
But again, like what the fucking thing to do where you have to sacrifice your flesh to somebody who was so in love. There's a lot of crazy things that happen. And this is a comfort book. I know it does not sound comforting at all, guys. I know it doesn't. Okay. But there's like these parts in the book where there's love and there is like real love between them where you can tell he's just like a sad boy that was lonely and longing for love, and she saw that in him, and
Hmm.
she was trying to quell that and be good with him, and he fucked it up. Let's be real, men. You guys have these fucking bad women just want to love you. Partners just want to love you. And then what you fucking do is like, well, that one time that girl broke my heart and she had the same color hair as you. So I was straight, motherfucker, I will hit you. I will make like that's me though. Like I have told partners, like, because of these books, honestly, I will never ever deal with shit like that. You think I'm triggering and I'm reminding you of your ex? Don't be with me. Don't be with me.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, these books definitely braced me for some real world
Ma'am.
situations. Also, I feel like romance books also, it's like I'm gonna not do what you just did so
Oh,
that
ma'am.
I don't have the same problems. So yes, they've been teaching us life lessons as girls. Thank you, authors out there.
Thank you. From the gate, when we should not be reading your books, we were reading
Yeah,
those
yeah,
books
we
and
weren't
they taught
supposed
us
to. Yes.
because
I
I would,
remember like my first comfort romance,
uh
and also I love the cover for that one that you just showed.
yeah.
And I used to like hunt for books that had those
Mhm.
like Fabio medieval looking
Wait a
sword
minute.
raised in like you know.
Girl, I
I used to
have
love
one of
those.
them.
Like Red
Fabio was the
Sonja
shit.
kind of
Oh, hell yeah.
style. Yeah, I love it.
Wait, side note, I'm so sorry to cut you off. I just want, do you know that there was a romance novel cover art, what the hell was it called? TV show?
No.
So I'm gonna send you the clips privately, but it was a show because you remind me of the Fabio, because Fabio was the star of it. Fabio was the star, and he was looking pretty much for his replacement because, mind you, he was everywhere. If
Yeah, he
you
was
read
on
spicy
everything.
books, he was the cover or inspiration, the cover art, whatever. He was there. They just colored his hair in different ways.
Yeah. It was
Open
the
bellow shirt,
same
he was
every
there
time. The hair
every
and
time.
everything.
Exactly. And the woman's always holding on his leg, or she just like fainted in the background. So it was like finding the next male model to be the star like him. And it was
Mm.
so much, and they had to do so. I'm gonna find you the show. All I remember though, there was this one episode where this guy hurt his small toe and he couldn't walk supposedly, and that's why he couldn't do any of the competition things. It was like Survivor. It was crazy. And it was so much. And then Fabio, all you see is disappointed, like, that's not very romance man of you. And I'm like, why are you disrespecting Fabio? Why are you disrespecting Fabio, bro?
This is his
But
legacy.
exactly. Exactly. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna find this for us later though. Go ahead.
I need to see these clips. That's awesome. Maybe we need to
We,
have a reaction
we're
date
gonna,
where we
I think
get
we
to
should
watch
definitely do
this.
that.
That sounds amazing. But yeah, so I used to look for those, and I think what introduced me to fantasy romance was I read the book by R.A. Salvatore. Is it R.A. or S.A.? These R.A.S.A. Everybody has initials nowadays. Salvatore,
Oh
he
yeah.
did Homelander, the
Mhm.
ones with Disrit, the Forgotten Realms books.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
And so I was really like mesmerized by the drow, mostly because they had dark
Mhm.
skin and they were run by women. And I was like, ooh, this is cool. And yeah, they were kind of evil, but
We
I was
love that.
like wanting that. And so I used to read Disrit fan like fan fiction. And
Hmm.
then I was like, oh wait, there's fantasy like romance? I didn't know this was a thing. Because before I was
Hmm.
reading mm, like Western romances
Hmm.
and kind of like Bridgerton style,
Hmm.
um, Regency romance, stuff like that. And
Hmm.
so I had never done fantasy. And so I started reading historical romance. And there's this book, Daughter of Troy, in high school that I
Hmm.
read. And it was the first book that I checked out at like a school that had like some spice in it, and I was like, oh no. It was like everybody could see it on my face. That's what it felt like.
Hmm.
Like the
Oh
word
yeah.
smut was just printed across my face.
Like, how dare you?
And I'd be like sneaking and reading during the class, and then like I get called out, I'd be like And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're gonna make me read what I just read to
Mhm,
everyone. But I was so paranoid that somebody was gonna stop me. But I keep
mhm,
checking it out because I was embarrassed. And I was like, if I turn this in, the librarian is gonna know I've been reading smut. So I have to just
mhm.
keep checking it out until I
Exactly.
graduate. And she'll never
Exactly.
know, and I can leave. But I would read it over and over, and it was like Achilles and his girlfriend and his little boyfriend, and
Mhm.
so there's like a little bit of like a love triangle, and King Agamemnon kind of kidnaps her and
Yeah.
makes them mad and everything. But it was like so much drama, and I loved it. But that got me into reading more
Mhm,
romance. And then, yeah, I started reading fantasy romance, but they're more like serials, like really short
mhm.
um,
Like one
reads.
shot type stuff.
Yeah, I love those.
I'm
I, s- I
trying.
feel like I feel like serials would be my comfort like reads. I love short
Mhm,
stories that are just like boom, boom, boom. Is it kind of like Khaleesi and the Barbarian? Yes,
mhm,
yes, yes. Like on the war count, sacking cities, all kinds of stuff. Crazy. And she was like a priestess, and so she wasn't even
mhm,
supposed to be touched anyway. So yes, the tension and the taboo was all there. It was just great to read, and I loved it because like the first time like
mhm.
something went down with her, I was just like. This is a priestess. She's not even supposed to be touched. What are you doing?
I
I was
love
just like
that.
so like mind blown, but it was great.
No,
They ended up falling in love.
I
Yeah.
love that. But it's
Yes.
so crazy. Like sometimes you never expect certain things, and you just wind up working out so well. Just to show something though, if nobody knows who Fabio is, this is how
Yes.
popular this motherfucker is. Okay, look at
Please
this
show.
shit. Look at this shit. This is three different fucking books, and he's in all of them. This is his style. The
Scandalous love.
Scandalous Love, Champion, Rogue. I've read Rogue a few times.
Uh-oh.
I read Rogue a few times, and it's funny because like one of the books I love, I'm trying to see if I have it. I don't have it this one, but this is like these are all romance novels. Like, of course, I talked about this
Yes.
book. This is a vampire. We're gonna talk about that one in a minute. But like Fabio was that man of everything. And if he wasn't a ethnicity, if he wasn't, they were coloring him in, which is terrible, guys. It is terrible. We know it's wrong. But he was the only man because he was the only man with the body.
Y'all heard I'm every woman, he's every man.
Every
Like
man. He's every fantasy. I think he was Navajo something and Thunder Love. And mind you, I remember these books. These are my books. Okay. And then you knew that book was that book. You knew that book. You had to pick it up at a Walmart or a fucking Kmart, whatever you were
yes.
getting your shit at. Fucking what's that? What is we have? Pathmart. If you had Pathmart and your mom scrolled out that little book section, you know what I'm fucking talking about if you're from
Mm.
Philly. Okay. Because I can't
We
speak about
had
every place.
we had Hastings. I don't know if you guys
Oh.
remember Hastings, but Hastings had all the discount books. You would if you dig deep in those
Some people
little
don't.
discount
Yep.
barrels, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, people are young. Fabio is
People
like,
don't know Fabio.
yeah, there are
And
people that don't
do
know Fabio.
like I said, is he my type? Hell no. But when he was on those different covers, I knew if he was on that book, he signed off on, and if his signature was on it, his little
That
and it was taking up what 95% of the real estate on that page. He was like, I endorse. Look at this. I endorse this book. You're going to read it, and we're like, we're gonna read it. I'm gonna pay $3.99 for this book. And
and
then the
there's never
crazy
been another Fabio.
there
Like,
hasn't. I swear, I have to. I swear, because I'm trying to look up that show I was telling you about. I swear it's scrubbed off the internet because this is like
dang.
early 2000s, 90s.
Well,
And
who could be our new Fabio? Like, who
I don't
has
know
the
who it would
the
be. I don't
riz?
remember it. I don't even think the show continued. I think it was canceled or something because of something. I think, but like I said, Fabio was the man in a sense of like, I think they might have insulted him too much. Because to be fair, too, if you're the man, you don't want to find your replacement. You don't want to find, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I can see that. I don't know the whole situation. Personally, I don't care, but it was very entertaining because all those men, delicious. The only
Mm.
sad thing, it was only white men. But again, 90s. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Very fucking small box minded people. But it was also hilarious because like the competitions would be like, yeah, so pose with this fruit in a damsel in distress, and they're just like, okay, this is what we do. We're like, and it'll be like top model. They're like,
Yeah.
your interpretation of this piece is garbage. How about that? And I'm like, okay, yeah, no. Fabio said it has to be true. I'm not arguing. But
Mm.
to go back to these books, if you were that girl and you found out that the book, so you had the regular book like those, but you also had ones that had like this little metallic line on the side. And if you touch that and you open it up, it was a signature photo or art piece that would
Mm.
come up. And that was like the sexy, spicy scene that would inspire you to read the book.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and those were the ones like just found one. Let me see.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's how I gauge like what books I was reading. Because if she wasn't holding his leg and he was crying
Yeah.
over her because of his lust for her, then the book
Yeah.
is not hitting.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, I'm trying to find it because I just saw, oh my God, I found him with the angel wings. Wait a minute. Is that what it was? Yeah, Warrior Woman. I just realized most of the books I fucking read were Fabio. I'm not surprised either. I'm trying to find.
But I would say, like,
Mhm.
if I had to have a modern Fabio, I would have wanted, what's his name? Jimin Hansu.
Who's that?
He's he's black, really
Uh-huh.
deep dark skin. He's usually bald
Ooh.
and has like very muscular body. He's always in like every fantasy movie. He like
Mhm.
does a cameo in like everything. He's the magical Negro, not gonna lie. Like that's
I
his
love that.
role in a lot of movies. Um
Okay.
it's Djimon. That's his first name.
Mm,
And I think he used to be a model before he was an actor, but his
okay.
body is always sculpted. Like I've never seen him like not look like a machine of a man. But
Oof.
I could definitely see him doing the old school, like standing on top of the mountain with the girl.
Honestly, do it. I feel, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're gonna do. If you feel like you got the body yaddy, because guess what? Even if you just feel it, whatever, I don't care. If you want to be the next Fabio of us, please do so.
Come on,
Show,
Roman Reigns. I'm waiting
come
for
on,
Roman
come
Reigns.
on, Roman Reigns. First of all, I'm quitting my
Come on,
life.
Roman. I've been casting
Let's
you in
do it.
everything and all my fantasy and all my
Exactly.
fantasy fan casting. You're on the list somewhere. Like, come
Shoot.
on.
Look, wait, I'm trying
He's
to
got the
see.
hair. He's got the body.
I love
He's
that.
the total package.
Which we love the total package, like I said. But you know what? One thing 90s romance artists, people, whatever, didn't really care about. They were still putting it in. They were still because their thing was it wasn't live photography, it was a base of live photography with art on top of it. So they were
Exactly.
sculpting you regardless. So do it
Mm-hmm.
because again, there's no way Fabio was 18 different shades of brown, tan, and everything in between, plus rainbow hair, black hair, blonde hair. He's a pure blonde. Okay, they was not doing that. That shit was art. So do it. Just do it, guys. Send me your
Yeah.
pictures. I will rate you respectively. Let me see. I actually have the image I was talking about.
Yes,
Give me
please send your
this.
photos. We will put you on our fantasy
Oh, you know
list.
what? That's what we have to do. We have to do a fantasy um cover. We got to make one for Nymphs. That's what we're doing. That's one of our things next. Let's see
Yes.
here. So when you had the inside of the cover, it'll be like something silver or like whatever color, and then it'll be something like this inside
Yeah.
of it. So like it'll be something a little more tasteful, but you see he's naked, right? You see that he's naked, she's covering him. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, my leg, look at my knee, like look at my thigh gap.
Look
Bitch,
at that.
whatever. And I think this one was, if I remember correctly, if it's not Texas Savage Love, I hate these fucking titles. It is probably
Oh my
Thunder Love
God.
or something. Because if I remember, he's supposed to be like a Navajo, some bullshit, or some type of Native American who falls in love with the white woman who's like, I have to rescue her. And she's like, oh my God, I'm a virgin, a woman who was married once by an old man who died. And now I have all this money. He's like, I'll save you, baby girl. That was the concept back then.
Oh my
That was pretty
god.
much all the concepts.
Yeah. Hastings was goaded. Good books, good nerd gear, and get your CD fixed was the work. I know,
It was
right?
dope,
Yes. I got
bro.
DVDs fixed there a lot because I was sneaking and watching my dad's scary movies that I probably should have been watching anyway.
Mhm. Oh, wait a minute. What's this one?
Excuse me. And I'm clumsy, so I had to use their services too much.
Wait a minute. I think I just found something and I don't know how to process it. So it looks like they made a. Let me actually look it up because okay, it's not. He's just very, very tan. I thought they made Fabio into a black man with a black woman, and I was very disturbed by it for a second. And it's called Night Song, and I was very upset about it for a second.
Nice. He's doing nice skins.
Bro. He was like from the moment. No. It is exactly what I said. Oh my goodness.
Oh
I'm
no,
gonna.
not nice skin, Fabio.
Oh my god.
Please.
But
no.
here, guys, he does come in all shades. Okay,
I'm
we do not
prepared.
condone this. We do not blackface. We do not condone that, guys. However, again, we did not control this. We did not make these books, unfortunately. And I know I never fucking read this book because this is the first time I ever saw it, and I
I'm
think
so
that's why they
scared.
were trying to hide it. Girl, I don't even
I'm
want to show it. I feel so
scared.
sad about it.
Oh my god. We
I'm
were
gonna put
rooting
it.
for you, Fabio. We
We
all
were
were rooting for
rooting. What did you
you.
do? Look, he was showing up for a check. Let's be real. He was
He
just
probably
like,
didn't
where do
even
you need me to
know.
be?
He probably was like, here's all these photos of me. I'll post how I need to pose. And then they were like, make them black.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. Because even the woman's a black woman. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I like this. And I was like, no, that's not him. That cannot be him. And it is him. And I was just like,
Oh,
oh no, why would you do this? Why would you do this, Fabio? Oh my
oh.
goodness. I'm
I'm
gonna
trying to
write.
prepare myself.
It's all right, girl. It's all right. I'm here with you.
Hold
If
my
I had to
hand.
suffer, we both suffering together. I'm sorry.
Yes. Hold my hand. Hold my hand.
I got you. We're on the opposite side. Fist bump. Okay, ready?
Okay.
I didn't believe it was him until somebody said, no, this is him.
What? Why? I love the 80s mustache and everything. They were like, they must have had a book, How to Black. Okay, we got the little.
I was like, I wonder who this is. And I was like, wait, this is a Fabio list. And then somebody's like, no, this is Fabio.
Not Night Song. Oh my
Ma'am,
god.
ma'am, I don't know how to process this.
Beverly, where are you?
I'm
Explain to me how this happened, Beverly.
I'm gonna I have to write a letter
Is
to my
Beverly
Congress.
Jenkins a real person?
I don't know. I just know that they were in a book. Yeah,
Oh no, she really is.
the number of
She's really
times.
real.
Wait, here it goes. So it's like, this is the comment that's in it. It says, the number of times Fabio appears in the Goodreads profile for Beverly Jenkins is so this is possible. Night Song, Beverly Jenkins' first novel. And it goes into like saying the Fabio wave. Like this was his thing.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the first books he was in, maybe with her. I don't know.
Oh.
But I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just going to stick to him. And it's funny because I know all these other books that's in here. This is terrible. I had an addiction maybe back then. But anywho.
Oh. Is he okay, so he really was the one for all her covers?
Yep.
What?
He's getting paid.
Wow. Okay, y'all, go Google Beverly Jenkins covers.
I don't know. Is she at least a black woman?
Yeah, she's definitely a black lady.
Okay. Because I didn't want to look it up.
No, she's definitely a real
so she
black
okayed
woman.
it. Okay, at least
Yeah.
I'm not saying she okayed it, but go ahead.
She's written a lot of black historical romance. Ooh, Belle and Beau and the Beau. That looks cute. So yeah, she's got a lot of different like pirate, um, little. I hope this ain't no little plantation romance, but I don't know. It'd be looking
Those are
historical.
the ones I refuse. Those are the ones I refuse. I don't care what branch or whatever. I don't give a fuck. If it's anything plantation or Sugarfield, anything, nope. Not doing it. I'm not into it. Not into it.
No, they be calling you
Nope.
mulatto and stuff in those
Yeah.
books. I'm like,
Ugh.
stop.
Ugh. I'm like, my proverbial dick is not hard anymore. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I was like, I'm not excited. But
Because like
what was
historical fiction already is hard as a woman because
oh
like
yeah.
they have to mention like the weird like social
hmm
challenges, so to speak.
hmm
Because there's even some that I've read and I enjoyed the romance, but it was still like, silly woman, you have no
Yeah.
agency. And you're like,
Yeah.
damn.
No, and I agree.
Oh, man.
It's crazy situation. Like again, like the book, the Black Lion. Like I love that book, but I still to this fucking day, there's a few chapters, every few chapters in that book. I'm like, you're a stupid fucking man, and I hope you get shot with an arrow to the face. Like, just deal with your like. There's this one part where in the same book where she's justified jealous. This random woman starts living with them and blah blah blah. She's like, "Hey, I don't like this woman." And back then they didn't have Google search. They didn't fucking couldn't figure out. So somebody said they were a lady or a lord, you had to believe them
Yeah.
until you can get it figured out. And this woman kept manipulating the wife, Lenora, whatever. And she's like, "Yeah, your man fucks me all night." And she's like, "Nuh-uh, nuh-uh, that would never happen." But except for having balls to talk to her man, she's like, "No, I'm just gonna pray on it." I'm like, bitch, if you don't smack your man, because you have that right, but back then also, like, women didn't have rights. Let's be real. They didn't have rights. But that was one of the reasons why he fell in love with her, is because she was a spicy woman. She was just like, I get what I want and I get what I want and I want it. But at this moment, she was like, I don't know. I just don't want to. I'm like, bitch, you own the house. He can't divorce you.
Oh, so he was
Back
like on her estate and money.
Yeah, so no, the situation was just like, so part of her dowry, because she was the only daughter. If they separated, whatever, he could leave her at her mom's house pretty much. And that was it. And he could be in frolic with other ladies as you wish. But she like she has just too many docile moments because she's immature and she doesn't understand the world. But I will say the side characters were fucking amazing, because there's this one couple and I resonate with this character so fucking much. I don't remember her name because I always change everybody's name because they're too white for me, to be honest. But she introduces herself to the main character and she's like, "Yeah, you want to know what husband's mine?" And like the main character's looking, she's like, "Oh, I hope it's not that ugly looking short man. Midget man." She's like, "You see that ugly little short man? That's my baby. He's ugly as hell, but I love him." And then she tells you the love story that she is part of a rich family that only has daughters. And she was almost drowning in a pond. And when he was a little boy, he saved her. Well, he was a teenager. He saved her. And she was like, "One day I'm going to marry you." And he was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, girl. Like, I just saved you. Like, there's nothing crazy." But she fell in love with him since she was like 3 years old and made sure everything she did in her life was to be his wife. So what she did is that her dad tried to set her up with another marriage because they haven't, I think his name is like Tucker or something. He never showed up. They never seen him again. And she's like, "No, he's the love of my life. I'm not dating anybody." So she lied about sleeping with him and carrying his child, which again, back then is a no-no because women have to be virgins. And she's a high-ranking woman. So the father got her checked out. The father was like, "You piece of shit. You got everybody in the country thinking that you're a hoe. Now I can't marry you off." And he locks her up in a tower. So she gives her ring and sends it to like a servant and says, "Find him and tell him I'm ready for him." So he actually comes with the army to save her. And he's like, they've been married ever since. But like, I love their dynamic where, you think they're going to be sweet and lovely. And she was like, no, we fight all the time. She's like, I stabbed him a few times. He bought me a little bit, but we're okay because we love each other. I loved him since I was 3. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I was like, be like her. Fight your man. Fight him.
Fight your man.
Fight your man, because all they understand is war, apparently.
Oh my God.
I'm toxic. Don't ever listen to anything I say.
Not stand by your man. Fight your man.
Fight your man. Because how are you going to assert dominance on each other? That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you got to boop them. I'm not saying abuse him. I'm not saying beat him.
Speaking of fight your man, one of my favorite fantasies that I've read recently, well, at least like within the last like 2 years or so, was Iron Widow by Siren J. Zhao. And it's based off of Chinese mythology. And there's a lot of classic literature characters. But there's also like mechs, which is really cool. They're kind of like Gundam pilots, the men. And women have no agency in this world. And it's kind of like not only based on Chinese literature and classic literature, but also kind of back in the day kind of attitudes as well. So it almost feels like a historical fantasy. But anyway, this women are paired in these mechs with the men, and the mechs basically drain women's life form. So they only survive so long before they have to be replaced. And so, of course, wars are going on. These guys are being cool generals because they can fight off these like big monsters that are there. And, they get all these accolades. But in the meantime, a lot of women are dying because that's what they're being used for. And of course, the government and stuff pays their families really well and makes sure everybody's taken care of for sacrificing their daughters, basically. So this one girl, she gets sent to be, and of course they call them the wives. So she gets sent off to war to be one of the wives of this really, really powerful mech. And they tell people like, he's the worst one. As soon as you get in there, you're probably going to die immediately. Like, that's how much power it takes, and good luck to you, but your family's good. You got this. And she's like, I don't want to die. Like, what? No. And so she's completely like resistant to it. She has a guy that she loves. They were supposed to like elope and run away, and he's like still determined that like she's gonna live, she's gonna survive. And so she gets into the mech, and they get in a fight, and all of a sudden she has so much willpower that she starts to take over. And she kills her pilot, basically. And that's why they call her the Iron Widow. But apparently there's only so many women in history, like the whole history, that's ever been able to like take over like that. And so like people act like she's a freaking ghost. They're like terrified of her, but she's also a badass because like she transformed the mech into like this ultra form or whatever. It was really badass. But like fight your man is like her theme. Like because as soon as she saw that people were like horrified, she was like, oh yeah, I'm the Iron Widow. Like
Dukes up everybody.
Bring your man. I want another husband. Come on, put him in the neck.
Like that's crazy. You're not gonna fight me? That's crazy. Goodbye.
But yeah, I won't say any more spoilers because it's still a romance. So you find out some things, how she navigates. But she's a badass. And Fight Your Man should be the secondary title. It should be Iron Widow, Fight Your Man.
Fight Your Man. I love that. I think like, to be fair, I think a lot of, not a lot, but I think like we need more books like that. I like when characters, I think that's why I like a lot of the modern books, of course, now, because we're just too spicy. Like, I'm not going to put up with the same bullshit. Like, I think I told you before, like, I have this, not issue, but like when I read certain books, I project myself into it in a sense where I'm just like, what would I do if I was in this thing? And it's usually me smacking motherfuckers. Like I'm shut up. Shut up. Like, why are you saying anything? Like there was this one book which I enjoy, and I gotta remember where I read it from. It was kind of like a Viking genie.
Mm.
And or a time traveler, whatever. But like what he did was this like the main character woman, she's an author, and a guy comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" I think he was cursed or something, and he went to like time traveling or something, and he brings her. I guess some situation happens. I forget the whole thing, but it was like a point where she goes back in time to where he's around, but he doesn't remember her. So this is like before the curse, before everything. And, Vikings are very strong willed.
Mm.
So she thinks very modern, and she's like, I'll f you up. You're not going to talk to me like that. So like his past self is about to do some things with her because he's like, hey, yo. So, and his future self, his current self was like, hey, what did I fucking tell you? I can't save you. That's fucking up the time thing. And she's like, well, it's not my fault you were hot. I can't stop myself. I want to do things with that man. He's like, he doesn't know who you are. I don't care. I just want him to use my body. And he's like, I thought we were in love. And she's like, I'm in love with both of you, baby. And I was like, go off. But it winds up being something like really sweet, blah, 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 because it gets romantic. But he's like, at some
I love
point
how
where
you say
like,
that, like with a slight disappointment, like, yeah, it
because
gets
I like
romantic.
different. I like different because it's like, it doesn't have to be always puppies and, you know what I mean? Super sweet in the rain kissing. Like, it doesn't have to. Sometimes there has to be pain because that's life. That's how
Yeah.
I feel. And also to be real, like the books we're reading now, the Summer Girl, my Summer Girl. I love the tagline, like, why do you choose them all? Why do I have to choose? No, I don't want to do it. Make me. And I used to say this thing with my exes was like, which I really enjoyed, even though we're not together. But one of our things was like, how do we handle people flirting with us? And I would say to a potential partner, or they'd be like, oh, yeah, like I want to be with you. And I'm like, well, I have a man. They're like, oh, that's why. I was like, cool, you can fight him. You could do that. If you feel like you can win him in a match, fucking duel, I don't know, something, then I'm all yours, baby boy. And I think that's like the joke of it too. It's just like, where's the passion?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't have to always be rainbows and butterflies. I do like the modern stuff. I do, like I said, I was also reading the new book we were talking about, Good Girl's Guide to Dominance. I like that version because it's more of like she's writing in her diary, which I enjoyed. Mm-hmm. So it like connects you on that level. And like she says it too. She's like, it doesn't have to be fucking sweet. Like, it doesn't always have to be. Sometimes I just want to smash. Like, sometimes I don't want to do. I don't want to do anything else. But men usually make it difficult because they want to control the scenario. They want to have all the power. And it's not just for that book. That's for most books. Any romance novels, like, I feel like that's a missed mark. Even though maybe I'm reading the wrong genre. I don't know. That could also be it. Maybe there's just a fight your man genre I haven't found yet. Fight your man. Just tussle. I'm just gonna go to Barnes and Noble with a sticker that says "Fight Your Man" approved.
Fight your man. Can you direct me to the Fight Your Man, section?
They're like, get this man out of here, please. I'm like, where is she fighting her man at? I want her to fight her man. Like,
fight your man.
Fight your man. That's it. Why can't we just hilarious. Fight our men?
Are you sure? It is refreshing to see, like, a female protagonist not really backing down and not compromising. Yeah. And I feel like in Iron Widow, that character is a lot like that. She doesn't have a lot of agency. She's in a terrible, messed up situation, but she doesn't back down. She's like, what do I gotta lose? Like, I'm already at the bottom of the totem pole here. I'm already at the bottom. I've already hit rock bottom. My whole family sold me. They're living their life. Like,
yeah. What else am I gonna do?
You're mad because I talk to you like you need to be talked to. You're mad because I make you have.
She's
the
a
same
queen.
struggles.
Protect her at all costs.
Yeah,
protect her at all costs. That's it.
I have no empathy for you because did you have empathy for me?
Yeah.
No.
No. Goodbye. Smash. Goodbye. Like.
Bye.
I
And then the
just
other
think,
guy's like puppy dog energy, like, well, I
yeah,
love you. And she's like, okay, well, make something happen then. If you love
yeah,
me, like, you the one
but
have all the power.
prove yourself, like literally. And I
Help
think that's just
yourself.
something. I think it's something like I was dealing with like I'm working on another project and we're talking about like relationship stuff of any type, right? And it's like women are trained in a sense from birth to be docile, to be accepting of crap. And like, again, not saying that men aren't either, depending on your lifestyle, but I know like culturally, especially for me, we're taught a wholly different way. We're taught to be submissive. We're taught to this and that, this and that. So, like, when that subject of like, you have to submit to a man, first of all, I have no issue submitting to a man, but are you making it worth my while? And that's not just a financial dig. That's not just a thing. It's like the whole point of being submissive is because we have to be taken care of. That's not just a BDSM thing. That's not just a kink thing. That's a lifestyle. That's a husband and wife. That is a relationship, partners, whatever you identify as. There's going to be someone who's going to be taking care of you. That's the whole fucking thing. For the woman to fully to be in that situation.
Yeah.
And I'm saying woman because I'm identifying myself at this point, not saying that you can't be anything and, whatever, but it's a situation of we need to understand as any individual, when you want something, make them work for it. Why? Unless you want it, whatever it is, like if they give you a piece of bread and you're like, I love bread, I'm going to eat it. Great. Go off.
Devour
But yeah, exactly. Devour it. Mom. But they could have gave you a whole cake. If you just said, "Oh, I would prefer a cake," they would have got you a cake or something like
Mm.
that. It's just like the little bits of like it's like how do you deal with heartbreak? Like in the beginning of any relationship, right? Like you really enjoy someone, you're like, "Oh my god!" And I don't know if you're like me. I'm a Pisces. I fantasize about a whole lifestyle, how many kids we're gonna have after the first fucking date. I'm that weirdo. Do I admit it? No, I'm not gonna say it to them. But
Mm.
I'm thinking about the whole thing. But then, it'll be a situation where they're like, oh yeah, I like to go 50-50. I'm like, oh yeah, all those kids and all the picket fence, we ain't having that shit. You better start building that back up in my head by the words you're saying and the actions, because I'm not trusting
Oh.
anything you do. Because 50-50, again, this is for everybody. Everybody's different. And that's another thing. This is not the show, but when it comes to what we want, especially as women, we have to own up to what we want and be loud about it. And I'm not saying
Mm.
be ratchet. I'm not saying be abusive. Don't fight your man literally, guys. Don't do that.
No,
But
no.
fight for your rights. Fight for what you desire, because it's only going to make you miserable if you don't. If you want fucking a Fabio type to fucking whisk you off and hold you as a desperate damsel on a fucking coastside and the waves crashing and dolphins and shit, do that. Find a man who's going to do it. If not, there's women who will. There's other individuals who will.
I'm sorry. Fabio types are at the top of my list. I want to
Damn.
be the damsel and I want to be
Oh, yeah.
saved.
I want a
Yes.
flower in my hair done. Like this one. This is who I want to be. She's about to be bit by a vampire and inherit so much money.
Oh,
She becomes a prima ballerina.
okay.
Bitch, I want that life. Even though she dies and gets reincarnated and then she's a famous actor. Hell yeah, give me all of that. Give me all of that.
Oh
And
wow!
he
So
was
in two
obsessed with
lives.
her. Yeah,
Mm.
that's why I really like the book, because like in a nutshell, he's a vampire. He kind of does this weird shit where he like followed her since she was a kid. He's a vampire. I know, I understand. Guys. But she winds up living with him at one point because the orphanage burned down, as these things happen in these books. And he takes her in, he becomes her ward or vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
and they fall in love, but she makes the choice to not become a vampire, and he
Mm.
respects that. So he, of course, holds her when she dies as an old woman, but then he, goes to his life after her, and he wakes up one day, she's here again. And
Oh.
she doesn't remember him at all, but he like stalkers in the background. He's like, that's my baby. Like, have you seen 365? Are you lost, baby girl?
Oh.
That's him. It's like, are you lost, baby girl? She's like, I don't know who you are, mister. What are you doing? And he's like, I'm just here to protect you. You don't know me yet, but I love you. She's like, okay. And then like she gets in this weird argument with other vampires that also was like screwing him at one point after she died.
Oh.
and it was a thing. And one of his jealous exes was like, he's my man. She was like, bitch, I just woke up from this slumber. I don't know him yet. Let me live. And then she winds up remembering herself. And then, of course, at the end, she becomes a vampire. But because she can't live without him again, which, okay, sweet. That's romantic. And he waited for her. That's great. We love that. But it was
Yes.
so like, again, that's another unique story as well. Like, usually the vampire situation, you get bit, you're going to live together forever, and she was like, nah, kind of like being old. I'm going to die old. I like that shit. And she's like, okay. But I did also like they touch base, like, how would you have a relationship? So there was like one scene of her memory when she got reincarnated. She remembered and she was like, yeah, I remember being old and how everybody thought like you were my son or something. And
Oh,
he would like in private or like, he'll still, because he loved her. He didn't care how old she was. He
yeah.
was like, no, you're the love of my life. Like, I love you.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. He's so sweet. And then, from the onlookers, I'm just like, is this old lady molesting this young man? But it's vice versa because he's a very
he's
old
old.
vampire.
Yeah, significantly older than her.
Exactly.
That's funny.
But
I
yeah,
feel
so
like I'm one of those people that would never want to be a vampire. But if I had to be a vampire, I would hope that I would have this very long, passionate relationship with my vampire partner, and then we become rivals later. So, like, just break
fight
up
your
the whole.
man.
Yes, fight
Fight your
your
man.
man. So people would be like, for generations, like, "What's up with them? Why do they fight so much?" And then someone whispers, "They used to be lovers."
Yeah,
That would be perfect.
that
Like,
would
that
be
would
me. I'm
be.
like, she fights her man because he fucked up. And it'll be some super like, oh, he forgot to take out the trash one time. And they're
For
like,
me, I would just be like, I have all the power now. I'm a vampire
oh,
queen at this point in my life.
no, ma'am, let me
Let's
tell
shake
you,
it up.
I am writing a like short, just a story for myself. I'm not publishing or anything. And the concept is it's connecting everything's in the underworld. So it's like the Mexican afterlife, um the underworld from Greek mythology and all that. And it's pretty much like them battling it out because pretty much all their
Ooh.
stories are similar, right? So, and I love Mexican like mythology, like Aztec, all that stuff, everything connected, Mecca, all that stuff is great. Um, so that's one of the parts of the story I'm trying to work out right now. It's like both of them are like the not Hades, but it's supposed to be like somebody connected to Hades like fell in love with like La Muerte, and like how's that gonna work
Ooh.
out? And she's like, we're fucking two different pantheons. Like you can't just keep coming. And he's like, baby girl, best to love you, but it's like she's also boxing them because like they're taking worshipers. It's mind you because that's how you get
Mm.
powers. It's like the worshipers control, and La Muerte is such a big title versus
Yeah.
like Hades, which is also a big title, a big name. How would that work? Because if
Right.
you give strength to
You're
them,
in
then you're
my
giving more knowledge.
territory. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's like puppy
Mhm.
dog. He's like, but I love you. And she's like, motherfucker, get away from me. So fight your man. I think
Fight your
everybody take
man.
away from that. Fight your man and you'll find true love.
Yeah. All the love.
All the love.
Oh, I did it again. Ha ha. Fight your
I love that.
man.
Yeah. But all in all, I think this was a nice cozy time. We had a good discussion about many things about our
Yeah.
comfy books. Um I'm definitely gonna find that for you, and we're gonna do a reaction video. I swear. I swear I'm gonna
We
find it.
need to.
If I have to call Fabio myself and use that fucking what the hell was that book again? What was it called? Night Song? I
Night
swear to God, if I
song.
could blackmail somebody, I'm like, sir, remember this? You'd be canceled if everybody knew about this. You
Is
better
this
tell me where that
you?
episode is at. Is this you, my guy? It's looking like a lot not like you. No, but again, we do not condone blackface, y'all. But we did not control that. But
And
I
we
will
do
say
not.
I kind of
I don't feel like we blaming Fabio either for being the
we're not.
model.
No, no, no. We're not blaming Fabio, but I will say we have to remind ourselves the 90s were garbage. The 80s were garbage when it came to representation. And Fabio, unfortunately, was the man to fit the bill. And I swear to God, if like, you know how we all hate AI now, especially for artists? It's definitely that was the AI back then. You took a standard ass picture pose and you colored on top of it, and that was the shit. Because mind you, there's no fucking way he was in all these different places and all these nah, that shit was not happening.
No.
But you know, all that good shit. We do have a few announcements before we shut down today, but of course, we have the Fabies and Friends podcast. Make sure you look them on Spotify, right? And also in all of streaming services.
Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Apple Music, Amazon Music. Yeah.
Perfect. And of course, this is going to be long, guys, because apparently I'm also signing up for a new show. Go ahead.
I'm working on episode 3 of Fabians and Friends also, so get caught up, please. I'm working on episode 3. It's going to be great.
Good. And we're going to post that information on our stuff. I want to make sure I send me the link, or I'll find the link and I'll put it on our link tree so they can also click on it too. Perfect. And again, you guys are going to get sick and tired of seeing my ass because Miss Jas is everywhere. So I do have a new show coming up. I'm not really talking about that yet, but it is going to be about relationship and other fancy things. It's called We're Just Roommates, I Promise. Because literally it's a joke that me and my roommate have because we're besties. We used to go out, but trust me, we do not want each other. He's tired of my ass and we act like brothers and sisters now. And I mean that shit. So, and I feel bad every time he has a girl he's interested in. They're like, but you live with your ex. And I'm like, I don't want him. He does not want me. I was like, bitch, if you need to be on the phone with me every point of the day, you get 1 day of that shit. Okay. Because you got to get over that. But
I need to be on this podcast myself.
Ma'am, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. But we have that situation. So that's going to come up soon, more details soon. So look out for that. Add us on Facebook. It's already on Facebook and Instagram. I am going to be on our show this weekend, Sexually Speaking, episode 8. We Got Questions podcast is going to be our guest. We're going to do kink jars. So it's about kink jars. Everybody was assigned a kink jar. I can give you the list. So if you want to fill it out, and we're going to discuss it and break it down. So we're excited about that. That is going to be at 8:30 on Sunday. Of course, on the 28th, that Monday, I'm going to have a Halloween episode with Oso himself, who is my roommate, and me, of course, with our special guest, Siempre Amor. Oh, I love that. I don't know what you did, but I love it.
Thumbs up, but yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if that helps you. I don't know. I love that. What kind of phone? We're going to talk about it because that's fucking, I have ADD. It's fine. Also, if you guys, this is about kinky stuff, so keep this in mind. I try to keep everything PG, so I'm not going to get into detail. But there's going to be a Halloween POC only event, the Cookout Munch, hosted by Miss D herself on October 30th at the Illusions Bar in Philadelphia. I believe it's in Baltimore Park, Delaware, Pike, excuse me. Just go on our Instagram or just look for Ms. DX, MZDEEX, and it'll have more information on how to get there. That is one of the locations and events that you can get vetted to go to our play party, which is a spicy time situation.
I'm jealous because where it's rare to see POC munches, so I'm hoping
she's actually 1 year already. 1 year, she just celebrated 1 year anniversary. We're so proud of her, and everything we do, as you know, I do, we POC BIPOC, we don't play games with this because we need safe spaces. We need our representation. We want to make that to the forefront and make it normalized because we're tired. And again, we're not dissing the other events, and we're not dissing anything. However, we need our space too. We need to feel comfortable. That's it. But this is called The Feast. It's being hosted, of course, by the Cookout Munch, as well as Sexually Speaking by Ms. D herself, the kinky host. We're going to have Sir Plus, excuse me, who is very talented. We're very excited to have him as the entertainment. My gorgeous ass is going to be there, so I'm excited. And I'm going to dress up. It's going to be so cute. I don't know how I'm going to dress yet, but I'm thinking neon. I'm thinking bubbles. I'm thinking all that. But in order to get to this event, y'all, the spicy stuff, you have to go to these events to get vetted. You cannot come showing up to, you have to be vetted, guys. And if you know what that is, join us on Sunday and we'll talk to you about it, because I'm not going into it right now. And maybe we'll come to where you're at, girl, and then we'll start helping you, do that, because we definitely want to have you there.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like I'm always talking and I apologize. I feel like I think our new show might not be broadcasted. I think it would just be strictly Spotify, because Jas is tired of being on the camera, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I'm exhausted. But I also I look fabulous all the time. So how can I deny you guys? How can I deny? But anywho, loves, lots of loves. Miss Jas, I miss you so much. Miss you. But is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything?
No, that's it.
That's it.
If you haven't joined the Black Fayday Instagram channel, definitely do that. I'll be posting notifications about this this podcast, my other podcast, and any other official things that I'm working on. So that's where I'll be broadcasting a lot of news, basically. So I don't clutter feeds. And algorithms are so unpredictable. Like, I don't want to deal with it. So
yeah. And anytime you have something, I share it on all my accounts, and I got 80 billion, because no matter where I'm at, Miss Jas is always working, doing something. So are you. I can't even lie.
We're busy
jazzies. We're busy jazzies. But anyway, guys, you could also find me on all the social media platforms as Ms. Giselle. For anything that's related to Nymphs of Lore, or of course anything that's not spicy. If you want spicy, you're going to have to go to Sexually Speaking or Obey Miss J. That's where I conversate. If you try to conversate with me about anything spicy on any other accounts, I'm going to block you. That's it. I am tired. All right. But lots of love, guys. We will see you next time. If you have any recommendations, if you know what show I'm talking about with Fabio being the host, and you remember that, please. I have to get my sister, because I know for a fact we watch it as kids. I did not make that up, because I remember the guy was so annoying. If you remember that, show me, DM us, whatever. I will give you a cookie virtually, because I can't give you a cookie physically. But if you know any other recommendations you'd like us to read, if you have any connections, anything good, let us know. We love talking about books, guys. We love it. And go out and vote if you already haven't. Figure your stuff out, guys. Let's talk about that.
And definitely get My Summer Girl. We're reading it. I want you to read it with us. Get My Summer Girl.
That Summer Girl, because that book is pretty damn good. Pretty fucking damn good. It's such a good read. Get it, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to try to... We're going to figure that shit out. If you guys don't know where to get it at, we're going to help you. Just send us a message. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Could you love a haunted, haunted house? Or could you love me now? A haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. A haunted, haunted house. If you're just checking out, a haunted, haunted, I'm a haunted house. Broken windows and a warning scribbled on my wall saying that you better turn around. Wouldn't be the first to try to burn me down. Your move, you too. Would you love me at my worst? Till the coffin's in the dirt. Try to break me like a curse. You know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd, dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion, but could you love her?